faith. And, of course, they've got really good insurance, but you did it for Templeton too. But he's like, yeah, we just got all of our mail. He's like, yeah, we ought to go down and get our eyes checked out. I'm surprised I passed the test at the driver's license place when I had to look in there.
Hi, everybody. My name's Ed. I'm Doug's younger brother. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to send Doug on his way today. My brother was larger than life to me. When I was growing up, he was the cool one, the popular one. He was one of the cutest guys in our town, and all the girls wanted him. And there's a couple of you out there, I know. He was always up for an adventure. He left home one night at the age of 17. He didn't tell Mom. He left us a note, and then he moved to Arcadia, Florida. But he always returned home every so often, unannounced, just showed up, and then we finally realized that this is just a part of Doug. It's how he rolled. It was always on his own terms. And it seems he didn't change much in life. He always stayed true to his values, true to his friends, and to his family. So Doug has taken another unexpected trip, and we will always ask why he wouldn't or couldn't tell us he was ready to move on again. I wish he would have. I know we all do. I'd like to read a little poem that was written by my nephew Scott for his funeral in Indiana. Gone too soon, gone too young, many tears have been shed, there are many more to come. We can feel the difference since you have been gone. With no doubt, our love for you will always live on. You will be missed, and in our thoughts every day, we will always remember your smiling face. Times will be tough as the days grow longer, but we will never forget you, Douglas J. Carter. Our family would like to thank all of you for your kind words and your generosity. We'd like to thank Gina and Judy for organizing the reception later today. And to Scott, Rick, John, Curly, and Charger, Doug loved you all so much. You were his brother. You were one of our brothers in our family. And you just know that. I'd also like to thank Pat and Darla from West Tampa Glass and all the employees at West Tampa. He meant a lot to you, and I know you meant a lot to him. West Tampa Glass really was his fight for the longest time here, and I think that's really all I can say. I just will always miss Doug, my older brother. It's going to be a hard road. At this time, you're welcome to get up and say something if you'd like. I'd like to ask Scott Goff to come up and say a few words, please.
I met Doug about 20 years ago on a job site in Tampa. And after a few weeks of working together, he says, "Hey man, you seem like a pretty cool guy." He said, "If you think you can be on time every day, maybe we can ride together." So we started riding together. We had one important stop every day. We stopped to pick up my daughter Emily. She sat between the car seat, in between both of us, and held on to Doug's finger from the point we picked her up to the time we got back to the house. Every day. Every day. It was soon after that he became known around the house as Uncle Smooth. Uncle Smoot was always there. He was a fixture of our life, of my family. He was a big part of my life. No matter what time of day or night, he was always there for me. I could come over to his house, no matter how much fun he had the night before, how bad he felt. He'd give me that look, say, "Come on in, Homer." Yeah, he called me Homer. "Come on in, Homer. Let's sit at the round table and we'll get her taken care of." He was a good friend to me. He's one of the best buddies I've ever known. He was a brother. I just wish I could have been there for him in his time of need like he was always there for me. As everybody else does, I'm sure. Doug loved his friends. He loved everything a man likes. He loved to fish. He loved to camp, ride. Riding his bike was something that he really dearly loved. And to ride next to him, and for him to look over and give me that look, like, "Yeah, man, we finally made it. We're living the good life, brother. Living good. Living right." He was loved by all of us, and will be forever. Everybody that's close to you and that you love, tell them. Tell them every day. You need to do that.
Well, I got some things to say. I've never been short on words, and I know you all know that. I didn't write anything down, but the first thing I'd like to say is, Ed, I always thought you were older. Much more mature, and you were better looking. Well, Doug had a lot of families. He had his family, blood family, all of his friends, his family, and the West Tampa Glass family. Doug, he would come and go, get said. I know, because he lived with me and left me, lived with me and left me. I even ironed the shirt he's wearing in the pictures. He's going out with some girl. I said, "You ain't going out like that." Doug, like Scotty said, he would help anybody. He would do anything for you. Sometimes you had to get a little persuasion, but he'd do it. He's a good man, very good man. That's about all I got to say. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
What? No. Bring the chicken from the teddy bear. Jump rope, y'all. Yes. Yes. We love him for that.
You could shed a tear that he is gone, or you could smile because he has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that he'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that he has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see him, or you can be full of the times you share. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember him for only that he is gone, or you can cherish his memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what he wanted, smile, open your eyes, love, live, and go on.
A couple days ago, we had a neighbor come over whose son just died, and this is a little bit like that for me. It seems like, the owners ought to be going before the employees. Doug was one of those rocks that we had. There's a few guys that we really relied on in the company, and we, day in and day out, We gave him several projects of incredible difficulty. Never thought they'd be accomplished, and he pulled them through. Could go on what they were, but most of you have been with us can remember one or two of those jobs. Very difficult. And Doug, there was some jobs that he did almost all by himself. There's a 23-story condominium in Daytona Beach. Have no idea how he pulled that off. Only a few guys were sent, and Doug did it by himself. It was incredible. He's going to be missed by everybody. He's going to be missed by us. Thanks.
The other day I went to lunch with some fellas. John came to me and he said, "You were the one that wrote, and Doug said your name first and last, all in one. And he was the only one that can do it." And how he always would say it when I called him for something. He'd say, "Dean Deanie." That was his personality. And I only knew him for 6 years, and I didn't know him as long as y'all did, but you'd only have to know him for a day to love him forever. He'll be missed.
I'd like to share a little something with y'all. I'm Dan, Scott's brother, and Doug could get away with some things just because of what a character he was. And you know, some of you know my dad, and he kind of looks like my brother and I for good reason, fortunately. And I'll never forget just one of those things that resonates with me, that a guy like Doug would say, he'd come up while we were out in the backyard at Scott's place, and he'd see me and my dad and Scott standing there together, and he'd say, "What are you little peckerheads doing?" And you know, like guys like Rick, I just appreciate people who leave you with a laugh like that. And God knows we all need that. So, great guy, great guy. No doubt he'll be missed.
Appreciate it.
I know. I'm not good. I'm gonna take my shoes off. Okay. Our fondest memory of Doug is Memorial, the neighborhood weekend. We had a cookout, and Doug is the reigning champion of the teddy bear jump rope competition. He beat all the kids, all the adults, the handicap, and the drinking too. And while he did it, he had a beer in one hand and a cigarette in the other. That is my fondest memory of that man. And all those children today are now adults.